Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Movie Screeners Club podcast. I'm your host, Sophia Falk. The Movie Screeners Club is brought to you by Designing Hollywood Productions in association with Gardena Cinema. If you want to win the chance to have your short film screened in a huge cinema and the opportunity to be interviewed on our podcast, please submit your short film today to moviescreenersclub@gmail.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Vanesa Moreno. I'm the writer-director of the short film Sophie. I'm also the editor. It's a slice of life film about a tomboy who's keeps having dreams of their childhood best friend, and they're going through kind of a time of depression, a time of struggle, and she's on her period. She has like a beat up car, and she's kind of just reflecting on her internal feelings about this childhood best friend that she had. And she's kind of just struggling with her life and just reflecting. And she's working at a camera store. She's the manager, and she is just not creating any art. She's a photographer. So it's a film that's very reflective of my life and this period of time when I used to work at a camera house in LA, and I was working this job, and I just wasn't creating any art. I was kind of just, trying to make ends meet and just trying to survive in LA. So I wanted to make a short film about that struggle and that period of time where you're just kind of going through life and not really doing anything. It's just kind of very mundane. So yeah, it's a short film about just like a girl who's having these dreams of her childhood best friend and just struggling with her life and just trying to make ends meet. Um, and yeah, that's kind of like the basis of the story.
I must say, as a Sophia myself, I'm so glad we're finally getting some recognition in Hollywood. I
That's so
mean,
funny.
thank you for that. You're a champion of Sophies and Sophias everywhere. So I think
Yes.
so. The story is kind of personal. Is that like best friend element also kind of something that you've experienced in your life, or is that something that like you wanted to add an extra layer of the story that like you feel needs to be told? Just that
Right.
kind of like mourning your childhood in that kind of sense.
No, I've experienced grieving my friendships from childhood.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I think growing up as a tomboy, like I had a lot of friendships with girls that I felt like leaned on like, oh, I have a crush on them, and like I didn't realize that. And coming to terms with those feelings were something that were so weird and foreign to me that I wanted to kind of reflect that in this story, because my best friend Sophie, who's the main actress in this film, she came out to LA like last summer with her best friend, and I decided to just shoot a story with them
Mhm.
because I was like, they're visiting and like I'd love to shoot a film because I haven't done that in a while. So we kind of the three of us kind of brainstormed and just thought of ideas of like, how do we make this a story about like that element of friendship and like queerness, and also like just being like in your time of struggle, you know. Um, so yeah, I did add that element of friendships because I wanted to reflect like my childhood memories that I had with my best friends. And we had this dollhouse as a prop that my one of my roommates had, so I decided to add that as well and just create a story of like them playing together in those dreams that she had. Um, but yeah, I think it was it was really cool just to work with my best friend Sophie because she's also queer, and like we both bonded over these like memories that we used to have like with our old friends. So it was really like a collaborative experience, and I that's like my favorite part of just making films. It's just like getting to collaborate with people that you know or people that you don't know and just like bond over like life and like memories that we have as humans and create something with that. So that's kind of my process.
How long was the whole like pre-production to production to post timeline? Like,
Yeah,
were they here? Like, we're gonna be here for a weekend. Let's
yeah.
write the story
They
on
were
Friday, shoot it on Saturday, edit it on Sunday. Like,
low key, that's kind of how it was. Like We shot one weekend in June, and the pre-production of that was maybe like we had maybe 2 or 3 months of prep where
Mhm.
like I knew they were coming. I had to like figure out like who my DP was gonna be. I had to figure out like an actual script for it. Like it's a short script, so it didn't take that long to write, and I didn't have to do too many rewrites for it. But um it took maybe like a year of me editing it
Mhm.
because I wanted to edit it myself just because like I knew how I wanted it to look like, and I felt like it was easier just for me to just have that full control. Um and yeah, I think pre-production took like maybe 2, 3 months. Production took like a weekend, and
Mhm.
then I edited it over for like a year. So yeah.
Mhm. The whole movie is shot on film, right?
Yes, it is Super 16.
That's nuts. So like
Yeah.
what goes through your mind when you think, okay, I want it to be super stylized. I want it to kind of have that old school look to it. Like,
Yeah.
did you think like that adds to the story because it's kind of like this childhood reminiscent movie, or like are you just like I just want to fucking shoot on film because it's fucking cool? Like what
Yeah.
kind of goes through your head when you make that decision? Because it's
Yeah, it was kind of both. Yeah, it was kind of both because I knew that I wanted to shoot on film just because I've never done it before.
not.
And I did feel like it would add a lot to just like the haziness of the childhood dreams that we were shooting. We like the cinematographer, we came up with like these we used like some filters that made it more hazy and more like dreamlike. Um yeah, I think the element of the style of that of those dream scenes was really much just trying to get it to look like it was like a dream,
Hmm.
or just the lighting also played a part in that. But yeah, I think it was a little bit of both. It was just like me deciding to choose film because I wanted to do it, and I had the funds to do it. So I
Hmm.
was like, why not just take that risk and create the short film with, Super 16.
Hmm.
And then it was also just trusting my DP to like make it look as much as how I wanted it to look like. Um, with film, it was because yeah, I mean, like when you think of films that are shot on film, um, we were thinking of shooting Super 8,
Hmm.
but it was just like we wanted to kind of feel like a home movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of adds to that element of style.
Yeah, it looks so sick. It's unreal.
Thank you.
So what were there any kind of like learning curves? Like it's your first time working with film, like or what was an issue you encountered?
Yeah, I think because one of the scenes, the childhood best friend, she drops like a lens cap
Hmm.
like by Sophie's place, and that scene was kind of difficult to do many takes of because
Hmm.
it has to fall down and make it look like apparent like that it fell down. So it was kind of like we had 2 takes, I think. So like I think it was just a matter of just trusting the actor to do it correctly and to make it look like you could see the actual lens cap falling.
Hmm.
So it was a lot about like trusting these people with like their role in the film and just trusting that they get it correctly. Um Yeah, it was hard. I think like just having we had 2 rolls of film, fresh film, and then 1 roll of short ends.
Hmm.
So it kind of limited us to like making sure that we get all the right shots as much as we can.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Could you see the playback right then and there, or you just have to cross your fingers and hope that you get
No, we could see the playback on the
okay.
monitor, but
Hmm.
like it was still like it was a risk. I think it was a risk.
We screened a film last month. He shot the whole thing on Super 8.
Oh,
And
awesome.
he literally was like, I bought this camera from on eBay, and this was test footage. He's like, I knew that the story had to
Oh,
like start in daytime and end at nighttime because I wanted to see the lighting, like capability
yeah.
of the whole thing. And he goes, he couldn't see any of the film until it was developed and sent to him. He like,
Wow.
which is crazy to me. Like
Yeah.
I need to watch playback like 3 times before I can move on and say, okay, we got this.
No,
Which is
same.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know, anal, but I guess you kind of have to like let when you have, a little bit of film left, kind of just have to let go, let God, you know?
Yeah, literally.
And
And
I'm
that's kind
like,
of like the rewarding part of just shooting on film is like you get to see it and see if it turns out well.
mhm,
Yeah, it's a rewarding process.
yeah, completely. That's so cool. So, did you kind of like this is your first film in a while, you said?
Yeah.
whatever that at that point? Have you kind of like, is the fire under your chair just like going crazy? Are you kind of like antsy now at this point to start like making more stuff? Like, what's the next move?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to apply to some grants to get funding for like my next short film. I think it's going to be more of a proof of concept to make it a feature,
Mhm.
which is something I've never done before either. But yeah, I have an idea and a script written, but I think it's more of just like trying to find the funds to like actually create it.
Mhm.
And hopefully shoot it on film as well. That'd be really cool.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about just like maybe making the short in the next 2 years.
Mhm.
It's just about like getting everything prepped for grants and like
Totally.
fellowships and stuff like that.
I feel like, yeah, that's what everybody's waiting for is money. That's like
Yeah,
that's
it's
the bottom line.
the only
Um,
way we can make it.
yeah, exactly. So your lead in the film, her name is Sophie,
Yes,
Sophie.
yes.
What why did you decide to spell her character name Sofi? Like what's the significance
Yeah. I think we wanted to just have like a play on her name
there? Mhm.
and just like make it something short and sweet for everybody to like digest it pretty well.
Mhm.
Um, it yeah, we kind of just brainstormed a little bit like what should we name it? I thought it should be her name, but we decided to just play on the name. So just changed it up a bit, just
Mhm.
changed a few letters and just made it Sophie.
So she doesn't
Yeah,
think she's getting typecast as Sophie's.
right. Yeah,
No, you're
this is
not
like an
Sophie
actual
with a PH.
character.
You're Sophie with an F.
Yeah,
Completely
because
different.
like in a way, it's like at first we were trying to like make this film kind of like a documentary type of thing,
Mm,
but then we kind of decided just make it a fictional story. Like my best friend, like she wants to play a character and she wants to like kind of embrace these themes and these like um qualities of this character. So we just decided to make it a fictional story and just like let's have her name just be changed up a bit and just make her play this character.
mhm.
Yeah.
Was it important to you that your actors, like, also experienced a, like, tomboy childhood? Or, like, are they secretly, like, girly girls? Like
No, I think it was important for them to also be tomboys and
Yeah.
like that's a good question because like my best friend Sophie, she's grew up as a tomboy and she identifies like as a lesbian, so it's something that wasn't very foreign to like my actors.
Mhm.
So it was yeah, it was a good idea for them to just also have that experience and yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I mean,
just
the whole thing feels really real, visually, like, just the tone of it, everything feels, like, super real, like, as if it could be a documentary, really slice of life, like,
right.
you nailed the slice of life,
Yeah.
type
Thank
thing,
you.
and yeah, I could kind of feel that, like, the tomboy the tomboy,
Yeah.
like, energy coming through the screen, I could feel it.
Yeah, because like it was the cool part was like doing the styling of it. Like my character, my friend Sophie, she already had like boy shorts. She already had like
Mhm,
the outfits planned out kind of. So it was really easy to like style her and like come up with the costumes for it. Um so yeah, it was kind of seamless, which is really
mhm,
good.
that's so cool. Um, I guess my last question would be, if you could describe Sophie in 3 words, what would they
In
be?
3 words.
3 words. I'm
I would
limiting you.
say, yeah, that's hard. I'd say it's artsy.
Mhm,
I would say um it's a love letter. And then I would say it's dreamlike.
mhm. And then
Yeah.
I guess my real last question, I kinda lied.
No, you're
What do you
fine.
see what do you see for Sophie kind of, like, in the future, like, beyond the short film? Like, do things get better for her, you know? I know.
Right, yeah. I think they would get better. I think it reflects like my life, so it's
Mhm,
just a matter of just hoping and manifesting like the best life for her.
mhm. Hopefully,
I
it's
would
over
say
in a week.
yeah.
Right. Start of the week? Well, end the week, and she'll be better.
End of the week, yeah. She'll get a new car and she'll
Yeah,
stop her
exactly.
period. So
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Well, thank you so much, Vanessa. Please come see Sophie September 19th at Gardena Cinema. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, please come.
Can't wait to meet you in person.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. The Movie Screeners Club is produced by Designing Hollywood Productions in association with Gardena Cinema. If you want to win the chance to have your short film screened in a huge cinema and the opportunity to be interviewed on our podcast, please submit your short film today to moviescreenersclub@gmail.com. This episode was sponsored by Smoke Break Productions, addictively entertaining.